Hi guys, welcome to another video. I thought it would be really fun to have a look at some of my older bags versus some of my newer bags. And yeah, let's just see how my style has changed, whether it's with age, maturity, whether it's with lifestyle, with my career changes, or whether it's just trends and styles in general. And I've gone with the times, haven't gone with the times. Let's just see what's happened in my handbag journey. So I'm not going to talk masses about each one of these bags, but I thought I would show you some because it's quite interesting to see how I have evolved, my style has evolved, and actually has it evolved? Has it? Let's find out. So this is the first bag, the first luxury Louis Vuitton bag that I ever had. Now, I'm not going to talk about this one. I'm going to talk about this one because if you know the story of this one, I didn't I don't like it. This was a surprise from my husband. And yeah, it was never ever my favorite bag. I don't like backpacks. So really the one I really wanted was the Alma. So yeah, let's discount this one for now as being my first bag because this was the first one that I actually chose for myself. And that sounds makes me sound like a horrible person, but yeah. Anyway, it's very sentimental to me, but I don't love it. So this was the first proper one, I suppose, that I chose myself, and I wanted this bag for so long. Anyway, this is the Alma. I think this was in the PM size. So this is 20 odd years ago. It must be 25 years ago or something like that. Anyway, Louis Vuitton are still making this bag right now in this exact combination. And actually, what's really interesting is that the Alma has had a real resurgence as well recently. A lot of the epi leather ones are coming out. And also, if you saw my video from London, I was so interested in the Alma in the Malatage in the navy blue. It was stunning. It's still on my mind. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Louis Vuitton are still championing the Alma. There's so many. The nano ones are coming out. There's also some huge GM ones that are coming out in the epi leather. So yeah, this has not dated. I'm sorry, but this is in the Damier Ebene. This has not dated. So yeah. Anyway, that is reminiscent. Oh, this is very typical, I suppose, of the bags I was buying 20 odd years ago, 25 years ago. So what has changed since that? Let's find out. So this is my very latest purchase. So this is the Dior Caro bag, and this is absolutely stunning. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. So this is in the slate grey colour, and it's in the Dior's version of the caviar. It's absolutely beautiful. So let's have a look at the let's call this the first Louis Vuitton bag that I chose, and this is the last bag that I've chosen to buy. So yeah, they're very different, aren't they? However, there are some similarities, as in they are both quite classic. There's nothing quirky about either of them. Even the colourway of this one is very neutral. So does that tell you that I don't know, I've changed a lot over the years? I haven't changed. Let's dig into this a little bit more. So my Alma was quickly, well, not so quickly, but was followed by the Galliera, I think it was. So you can see this is a lot more of a slouchy sort of hobo style. So that was the style at the time. This I think looks really dated now, but I still love it because yeah, it was a moment in time, wasn't it? So I used to use this for work a lot, but I also alongside this used to have what you used to call, I think it was an audit case or a pilot case, which is like a massive briefcase that you could fit lots and lots of files in. So I used to have that as well. So I thought I needed a bag that was a reasonable size, but not too big because I already have that as well. So yeah, this became my work bag, my everything bag for a lot of years. And then I had a period of time where I didn't use any designer bags probably at all, or I just used one of those two I've just shown you because I then had my two daughters, and yeah, I had a baby bag. And so I didn't really use a separate bag. And if I did, it would be just one of those two. And yeah, I think it was very much like that. You just used to take your baby bag everywhere and shove everything in it. Um, didn't go out as much, so I didn't really need sort of evening bags or anything like that. So yeah, my lifestyle changed a lot, a lot. So as the girls got a little bit older and I needed less and less baby things to carry around, I then started to go back into, actually wanting a new bag and things like that. So I did have a bit of a gap where, yeah, I just didn't use them that much. So I think I did get to the point where I was, no, I do want to invest in a bag again, and I can feel a little bit more like me again rather than just somebody's mum. I'm sure a few of us have been there, haven't we? So yeah, I bought the Louis Vuitton Montaigne bag. Now I don't have that bag with me to show you because I sold it. I did. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But I'll put some pictures here of it. I love that bag, and it served its purpose at the time. For it was a fantastic work bag. It was understated but still very, very nice. And yeah, so I had then that bag for a long, long time. That seemed to just suit everything. And then alongside, obviously, the Neverfull came into my life, and yeah, I wished I'd got this sooner, to be fair, but I think this came out. If I'm right, I don't think this would have been around for me to have as a baby bag anyway, but it would have been far too expensive for me at the time anyway. I wouldn't have been buying it. But anyway, this came into my life, and this alongside the Montaigne bag were the two bags that I used all the time. I just think they were just amazing. So yeah, and I still probably wasn't going out that much, so I didn't really have any little evening bags or anything. We really didn't go out. The girls were really young. We were always working. We were studying. There was all sorts going on. So, yeah, we didn't really do a lot of going out. I think the wallet on chain, was probably the first bag that I got as an actual, oh, I will use that as an evening bag. Um, and that was much, much later on. So I think I sort of evolved from using either the Damier Bean or the monogram bags just as an everyday and anything bag. It didn't matter what I was doing, I would use that same bag. And then I went into the baby bag era, and then I went into the work bag era, and that was it. And that was my life, was the kids and work, and that was it. So I think this was probably the first one that I bought that was just for me to use as a beautiful luxurious bag if we were going out, and that was much, much later on. So I think I did sort of evolve slightly. I then got to a period of time where I was just obsessed with this type of bag. So, so obviously the beautiful, beautiful Birkin. This is Birkin 30. And yeah, I went through a period of time where I just loved this sort of bag. So this sort of size, it didn't need to be crazy big because I was doing a lot of more internal work at work. I wasn't going out to clients as much. So I didn't need the massive pilot cases and everything else. So this was a good all-round size bag. Now, it's a very beautiful bag to take to work, and I don't think I did it that often, but that's a whole other story. But in my world, I was loving this size of bag. So I've got two of these in the 30 size. I've then got two Kellys in the 28 size. So I was obviously going for that sort of size bag and loving that. Let's just look at the colours that I went for over time. So obviously at first it was monogram, or it was Damier Ebene, it was Louis Vuitton. I then went to black for the Montaigne. I then went to neutrals. So this is a taupe. I also went for a very dark blue in the Birkin 30. I've also got black Birkin 35. My Kellys are black, and one is Tan, which is a grey. So yeah, I was very, very neutral, very neutral. I think evolved into trying a few other little things, and I think part of it is me being a little bit more less insecure, if you like, and trying new things. Part of it is, I suppose, my age, maturity, everything else. Part of it is I'd already covered most of my bases with the bags I'd bought because I've been buying for so long. So I already had a black and a neutral and a whatever. And I also had a black crossbody bag and a large tote bag. And, I'd already covered my bases. So I got to the point where I could play with a little bit of something a little bit more quirky or a little bit of colour. which I don't do very much. So you can see I went for the graffiti bag. So you can see in the background here the Chanel mini reissue in the graffiti, and that is quite a blingy bag for me. That's very out there for me. So it is black and gold, but yeah, it's quite blingy. So I thought, to have one piece just like that, wear for an evening out with an all black outfit, that'll just look amazing. And also the petite malle, I only got that last year. So if you look at my first ever bag, Monogram, and you look at my petite malle, I went for the Monogram. I still love the Monogram. So even after all these years, the style hasn't changed that much. My tastes haven't changed that much. I still go back to the things I love about Louis Vuitton, about the heritage, the hard-sided luggage and the Monogram, everything else. So yeah, there's about 25 years between these two. There must be at least 25 years between them. And yes, they're very different styles, but you can tell the Louis Vuitton, can't you? You just can. So I don't think I've changed that much. I then decided to go all out for me and buy a bright pink bag. I just was really drawn to this, honestly. And this is amazing. This is the Mini Alexa by Mulberry. Now, it's very interesting, isn't it, that this is my first proper pop of colour. I do have a Lady Dior in a bright cherry red, which my daughter now owns. And I didn't use it that much. And anyway, we've talked about the Lady Dior. It's not my favourite bag, and she loves that bag. So it's gone to a good home. But that was my only pop of colour that I had in my whole wardrobe. Until this one came along. But it's interesting, isn't it, that I went for Mulberry as a test, I think, because I got this at a really good price as well. And yeah, I think it's interesting that I actually, didn't risk too much, shall we say, money-wise, in case this went wrong. And I love it. So this has given me a little bit of confidence to go, do you know what? Colour does work and can work. And I love this bag. I've used this a lot. This is a great holiday bag for me, a summer holiday bag. So if we actually look at how I have evolved since then, there's one bag that completely and utterly typifies I suppose, how I have evolved, and it's this one, because this is very different for me in terms of the leather, the style, the colour, and the price. I think you can see here, in the early days, I was going for, like 20 odd years ago, I was going for the Monogram canvas pieces, which were I suppose they were the entry level even then, but Louis Vuitton didn't do a lot of leather goods. They did a lot of the coated canvas. So it's become an entry level piece now, but I don't think it felt like it then. Anyway, as time has evolved, they've introduced obviously a lot more different leather pieces, the empreinte leather, the vernis leather, the lock-me leather. They've started to introduce more, and then obviously they've brought in the capucines, which is like their high-end bag, I suppose. And yeah, and then the fact that I went for an exotic skin just shows how I have evolved, in terms of going for a purple bag in a exotic skin, and also in a small quirky style. It's very quirky for me, is this bag is quite fiddly to get in and out of. I don't have a lot of quirky bags, I suppose, but this is as quirky as I get, and I absolutely love it. If it's not my favourite bag in my collection, it's definitely in the top 3. It's got to be. So I absolutely love it. But I suppose this has shown how I have evolved. It just does. And I think the reasons behind how I have evolved, I'm no longer working in an office. I'm no longer in that corporate environment. So I can use whatever bag I want wherever I am. I don't have to think about what clients think or what staff thinks or what other colleagues think. I don't have to carry a load of things anymore. I'm not going out to meet clients in big dusty factories, or I don't know, there's often things in the past where I've had to think about where I'm going and what I need to take with me. I don't need to do that now. So because of that, I can play with sort of different styles and know that, I can use this whenever I like. Although I still wish I went out more. Sometimes I look at these bags and I think, I don't know when I'm going to wear all of these because I don't go out enough. And I could go out a lot more, so I need to put that right. Um, but yeah, I think also just time and yeah, just building a career over time has allowed me I suppose, the luxury of being able to afford an odd bag like this. So, um, yeah, I can't buy these all the time. I can't. They're so expensive. But it has allowed me to do that where in the early days when I was at the start of my career, I just couldn't afford it. So I just think it shows that time has changed. I've changed. My style has changed. I suppose, I've got older, I've got more mature. I've changed my outlook on things, and it comes through in the choices I make with things that I buy. So yeah, I just thought it was an interesting topic. So let me know, guys, how your styles changed over the years. Has it changed at all? I think I'm a little bit less classic now than I was. I'm still very classic, and this is very, very quirky for me. So yeah, I'm still very neutral. I'm still very classic and still very timeless. I like things that are slightly edgy, so like the side trunk, just a little bit edgy for me, and those sort of things. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And other than that, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on another one.